Hi, I'm Jamie. Basically, what I wanted to talk about today, I wanted to talk about representation, specifically about trans men in the media, and not only. Trans men are being erased ridiculously. Like, you have lists of famous trans people, and you'll always have trans women. You won't have gender fluid, you won't have genderqueer. Well, maybe you'll have one genderqueer. That's the problem. People really don't talk about trans men. As a trans man, I want to talk about it. It's not my ground to talk about non-binary. So I will be talking about trans men. And specifically coming out as a Russian trans man.
Орлы. Волки.
It kind of angers me a lot that people really raise us. People don't understand how hard it is to come out as a Russian trans man. People don't understand that you just have to actually accept the fact that your parents will never accept you. And basically people really don't understand what is going on. People just snag about, for instance, about Russian politics. Yeah, they suck. Yeah, you'll talk about inner Russian politics, but you're gonna blame Putin for it. And that is absolutely ridiculous. How about you actually walk out on the street and it won't be Putin who will beat you up with a stick, it'll be the people. It won't be the police, it'll be a person. And people don't address that. Instead, people just decide to either do an enormous hate on all of Russia and all the Russians, in general, with LGBT. Trust me, it's plenty of those. There's people who went on once, they were saying that you can't speak Russian, otherwise you're a homophobe. Okay, what am I supposed to speak then? So it's up to the point that it became really, really absurd. And now people aren't talking about it at all. We've pretty much got ourselves into people not talking about it. And then people claim, for instance, that lesbian, gay, bisexual people aren't under threat when they also are. Come on, you're gonna tell me people don't get beaten up for being gay? You're gonna tell me people don't get beaten up for being bisexual? You're gonna tell me that lesbians don't get harassment? All these things happen, and people are ignoring them. People just focus on one issue, and they think that that's the solution for it. And that's not the case. Unfortunately, my platform is to speak about trans men. So I will speak about trans men and gay men. People just forget that we exist. People even forget about themselves that they exist. People end up fighting for rights of different people, which is great, but you should also think of yourself first and then start thinking about other people. Let's say you're gay. Then you should really focus on your issues and then everyone else's. And you do have issues, and that's the problem. People really forget about that. I see a lot of trans men focusing on different issues, when in reality you should be thinking about helping your brothers. I see a lot of trans women focusing on other issues, and you should be helping out your sisters. I see a lot of issues. And everyone should be helping everyone. But the problem is that everyone forgets who they are and they stop helping themselves. And I understand this is controversial to say, but we should really start caring about ourselves. And the fact that it is controversial really annoys me. Because before I'd go on enormous rants and I would speak about issues which bother me a lot. And now I just stopped doing it because I get called everything from a misandrist to, I don't know, I've even been called a racist. So it's like you start saying stuff like, oh, trans men need representation in the media, and someone's gonna call me a racist. That's how ridiculous it gets. Now, when it comes to trans men erasure, we need to acknowledge that besides Cole and the Fosters, who else can you give me which is good? Which was actually played by trans men. Yeah, we've got Romeo's, which was played by a cis guy. That was a great movie. That is an amazing movie. We should all watch it. We should all cry about it. It's amazing. That is one movie. That's it. Then we need to address another issue. How about the bloody fucking fact that lesbians erased trans men in history, huh? Are we gonna talk about that? Are we gonna talk about the Well of Loneliness, or are we just gonna ignore it? How about if we talk about the Well of Loneliness, which says that Stephen was an invert? How about the fact that a lot of butch women actually lived their lives with men names and went as men, and people still call them butch lesbians? We need to raise awareness about who we are. We need to take pride in that. I can't speak for trans men who are attracted to women, but claim it. Do not let Stephen become a lesbian. Stephen was never a lesbian. Stephen was a straight guy, for fuck's sake. And that's the problem. People do not understand their own issues. We are fighting for fuck knows what. We need to fight for ourselves as well. Care about yourself, just like you brush your teeth in the morning, care a little bit about your history.